Hi guys, in this video I want to, I'm going to try not to make it so long, but about the chakras, and I guess especially our sacral chakra. But I also want to go ahead and talk about how I have been having sensations in my heart, and the sensation is a cooling effect. It's like an ice feeling, and I kind of describe it as the sensation of Ben Gay, when my mama used to put some Ben Gay on me, and you would get that cool feeling. It doesn't burn. What I am talking about doesn't burn. It just is very cold, and it's very comforting. All of these things I'm going to be talking about are comforting. So then I began having a different sensation. It happened earlier on this week, maybe over the weekend, where it was my solar plexus area. It woke me up in the middle of the night, and it was like a fire. It burned to the point that it woke me up. And again, I wasn't traumatized by this because I see from love. Now, if this had happened to me, and it probably has happened to me in my past, I would have seen it as I was severely ill. But I knew something was taking place. I didn't understand it because I don't have a complete understanding of every single thing that's happening to me in my waking up process. It's a process of learning, of eliminating and learning and growing and becoming your true self. And so I went back to sleep after that burning took place. And this is not the same kind of burn that you get like heartburn, okay? This is just a burn that was a movement that I felt, a circular movement inside where your rib cage is. And that is where your solar plexus sits, between your rib cages inside. And then a couple of days ago, I began feeling another sensation just below where your belly button is. And that just felt like a flow, a movement. And so I recalled reading a little bit, a memory came up of me reading about your chakras in relationship to the elements. And so I figured out your heart center, your heart chakra, is air, which is why I felt that coolness in my heart. And the solar plexus is fire, which is why I felt burning again. And then your sacral plexus is water, which is why I felt flow. And it's interesting to me. It really is mind-blowing when I have an experience, and then I can have understanding to it. You know, if I had read all of this stuff years ago, I would have, said bull crap about it, because it's baloney. I mean, this is so, no one believes in this kind of way of living, understanding. It's, if we all did, life would really be easier. And it's kind of really silly that I haven't grown up with this kind of concept, because my mom is Vietnamese, and I know that she had a Buddhist upbringing, and that is something that was kind of taken from her throughout her lifetime, and we didn't get that type of experience because she did marry into an American family, and it wasn't understood, and it wasn't taken as something beneficial, if you will. So we didn't understand any of this type of living, and my mom is now waking up again to her old self, her real self, because she has been programmed to be someone that she's not. She has let go of who she really was to fit into society, which is what I have done and what a lot of people have been doing throughout their lifetime. But today I want to talk about my journey again. And back in December of 2018, you know, I was experiencing something. I began the 80-day obsession program, which I loved. I was working out about an hour a day with this program, lifting weights, lifting heavy, and I was eating better than I ever have, about 4 to 6 meals per day, small meals, well balanced, and all of a sudden, like in January, I wanted to gain some weight because I got down to like 123, and that was it made my face look too skinny, unhealthy skinny for myself, and I didn't want to look unhealthy. So it was my intent to lift heavy and nourish myself properly. And I began doing so. And 123 went to 125, went to 130, and I was fine with 130. I was even fine with 135. But for some reason, it seemed like weight just came on again for no reason. And I want to put it on a miscarriage that I had in February. So I wasn't really dealing with that. And the weight just came on again. And that's what I was putting the blame on. Which, yes, it did have, I'm certain, an impact on my weight. But now that I look back, I know what was really taking place. During your awakening process, you will gain weight or lose weight depending on where you are in your awakening process and what your job is here to do. Like right now, my sacral chakra it's moving right now. And it has been this week. And I can already feel that my stomach area is thinning out. The movement of my balancing of this area, which it has been balancing for this past 14 months, but now there's a different energy that's coming through me, which I guess is called the Kundalini energy. And again, this has been taking place for some time, but there's a process that never ends with light, with energy. It always is a process of coming into you and giving you something better. You never stop growing. You never stop learning. You never stop healing. The light never stops doing what it's supposed to do, whether to give you your gifts, whether to give you your purpose, and to give you pure enlightenment, whatever it is. It never stops. And so what I have discovered and I understood is that when you take in the light, the energy, it will expand you. And some people, it might be temporary, a temporary expansion. And some people with this expansion will lose a lot of weight quicker than other people. And some people will tend to keep on that weight. But also, it also depends upon all of the traumas that you have retained and kept within you. And I know if you have a thicker midsection, which is my body is the type that is well balanced. But yes, I have carried a lot in my midsection. But again, I have been blessed with a physique that is balanced on top to the bottom, so it kind of matches. But I know there are some people who just have a larger midsection all the time and a smaller top area. And if you have been someone who has been traumatized sexually, especially sexually, this is the area of expansion. It is going to be where you have a problem losing weight. And this also can be the reason, if you have been a person who has witnessed a divorce, your parents possibly, or friends, and you took it personally, it affected you personally, then you also are retaining that trauma here. And it could also go with physical abuse. And this is where people tend to have addictions, whether it's with food or alcohol or controlling your area, like OCD. I think that's what it's called, where you just have to have things in order, depending on what it is. So I wanted to make that a point today to explain that if you do have a thicker midsection, your energy, quite possibly, I'm certain, is off in this area. And if it's off in this area, it's off everywhere, really, because you have to have a complete balance everywhere. And everything will come into alignment and work properly and function properly. But that's an indication that this area is quite possibly the worst of the out of alignment chakras, if you will. So I recommend, love is the thing that opens you up, and I mean true love. It's not the love that we have been taught throughout society. Or by our own experiences. Love gives, love does, without any expectations. And when you can implement love in every single thing, including for yourself, you will align your chakras. And this is, again, a process that takes place. You cannot make it happen faster than it's supposed to. You have to learn to just let go. Love will help you let go and see the pain and the trauma that you have been holding on to from your lifetime, or and give you understanding of even past lives trauma, or your ancestors' trauma, and you can let it all go, because we retain every single thing from the beginning of time. And every time we can let go of our own personal problems and traumas, we learn to let go of everything else. Because reasons why we also hold on to what we go through is because there's something else that stems from it, from the beginning of time. And so I want you to also understand that when you are in that process of elimination, because you are now seeing with love, you probably won't be in tune with the proper rotation and movement of your chakras when they are functioning properly. I wasn't aware of it because I wasn't in belief, I guess, as well, that this would happen, that you can actually feel this. I've read about it and kind of like denied it, I guess, because, I wasn't really experiencing it, or I wasn't even certain what these sensations were going to be to begin with. And that's why everything, again, is a process. You have to go through it to understand it. And then that understanding is what releases anything else that's attached to it. And I enjoy my experiences. It gives me a different perspective. It allows me to bring in more love when I have these experiences. When I can feel things, it gives me a greater experience of love that I know exists within this universe, within this world. I know there's other things. I have always known there were other things that existed. And when you learn that, because you're experiencing it yourself, it opens up to a whole lot more things. And that's the thing. You have to be open to whatever. Don't set a limit on your experience. Don't set a limit on love. Don't set a limit on your faith. If you want to believe something as crazy as, a napkin being able to heal you if you placed it on your skin, then you believe it, because there is no limit on what faith can do for you. There's no limit on what love can do for you. And when you place limits or expectations on something, that means you're cutting yourself off. Be open to anything, whether good or bad. And then if it's bad, you see it with love. That means whatever is bad, you see it as an opportunity to give you something else. So there's never, ever anything that's wrong that's happening when you see it with love as an opportunity. So I wanted to share that with you today, to really focus on your healing and focus on your body. The way we act, every single thing is telling us what is wrong and what is out of alignment and what we need to fix. But we are so focused on having others fix it for us instead of self-healing or doing it ourselves, that we stay this way. I don't rely on doctors. I don't rely on anyone else to make me happy. I don't rely on anything, because everything comes from within, and it's possible to have everything that you want when you go within and fix what is wrong. And that's the emotional problems that is wrong. It's nothing else. Fix your emotions and allow more love in, and everything works out. I promise you. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.